This desert sanctuary was built by aliens. I'm Jason Horton.
I'm Rebecca Lieb.
And this is Ghost Town.
If you know me.
And I don't.
You don't at all. Not for 10 years, not for 2 years, not for 5 minutes. You actually just wandered into my apartment.
Yeah.
If you don't know me, you don't know that I love the desert. I feel like have I started this podcast at least 2 other times saying that I love the desert?
I don't know, but I always notice some pictures of you and I'm like, you're in the desert.
I love the desert.
I don't even know how do you even get to the desert?
You drive there on the 10.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry. That's not, I didn't get like beamed in like a ray of light from here to the desert. I love the desert. I grew up, as you all know, all 4 of you who are listening to this begrudgingly on your commute, in Wisconsin, and we grew up around lakes and heavily forested areas. It was fairly rural. But when I came to LA, about a decade ago, going to the desert was like going to a different planet. It was like dreamlike and strange and arid, and there was these like flowers blossoming that looked like crazy.
A
lot
of bandanas?
Bandanas, long graying braids, turquoise jewelry, tumbleweeds, whispers. I loved it. I loved it. I ate it up. So I cannot wait to talk about one of my favorite structures in the desert. This structure is said to be capable of rejuvenation, anti-gravity, alien connectivity and communication, possibly even time travel. So today we're going to talk about the iconic Integratron.
I have heard, and probably from you pre this podcast.
Yeah.
Something like that. Maybe you posted something about it.
I don't work for them, but I preach their gospel.
Yes, that's okay.
The energy waves got into my skull, and now I am a slave. I'm a slave to them.
Oh.
I know. It's pretty great. It's pretty great.
And it's just something that's just like in the desert, like where it's like inconvenient to get to, makes it even more.
Yeah, it's in the middle. It's in Landers, California, which is 40 minutes outside of Joshua Tree. So it's like it's not like you're going past, the Cabazon dinosaurs or like the Morongo. You have to get really far off. And when I started going to it, it was pretty easy to book a sound bath there, which is what you do there. But now you have to book. Like I was thinking about when I was getting this episode ready, I want to go back out there and go to a sound bath. It's like a 2-month wait now. It's insane. People from all over go. We're gonna talk about this too. I got some reviews. I went on Yelp. I did some deep research on Yelp to see what people thought of it, people's preconceptions of it.
How far is it from LA proper? Just out of curiosity.
It's about 2 hours.
Okay.
I called them. This is not the first time I called them, but they won't do interviews. The 3 women who own it right now, they won't give quotes. They won't. That's a quote though. We don't give quotes. Yeah. So I got something. I am a journalist.
Got him.
So exactly. So that's always a really fun thing. I think when places like that, and the Museum of Jurassic Technology does it too, where they shy away, which is also another episode of something else that is beloved to me in my identity here in LA. I love it when they don't do that. It's so secretive. It's so mysterious. And it's like they don't need it. They're like too cool for us, for Ghost Town.
Well, because I guess if we got too much information to put out there, people would be less interested to come and check it out for themselves.
Yeah.
Which I can appreciate. Although
no amount of information, I think, could really do this place justice. Like, we're going to try. But you really have to experience it. Like, when we talk about murder houses or, like, places, like the Comedy Store, whatever, like these are places you can go and visit, and you kind of, I think, get a sense of what a comedy club is, or a penitentiary or a residence. Like you have a sense. When I'm talking about this giant geodesic dome in the middle of nowhere, you're like, I don't fucking know. Like, it could be anything.
I go to geodesic domes all the time.
Oh, fine.
Yeah.
You know, punch card?
Yeah. On the 10th one, I go zapped up into space. It's great.
Then you don't get a new punch card later? Or
no, you don't come back.
So God. Yeah. Fare thee well. You're on your way?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. All right. Well, some of us don't always frequent giant fabled structures in the middle of the desert, so that's what we're here to do.
Is it easy to get, like, do when you drive there, is it like a parking slot?
Yeah, it's all like you go. you're going past, like you start on 29 Palms highway essentially, and you're going, and the roads get smaller and smaller, they get less and less paved, and eventually you're like rolling in your car through yucca trees, and there's a turnoff, a really sharp turnoff, and there's a lot of like yurts and stuff in the desert too. Like there's a lot of dome shaped wooden structure, so you're like, is that it? Is that, like, there's a couple that are kind of fake outs where you're like, that, no, it's just like a weird water heater. And then you turn in and it's a parking lot. You go in, there's all these signs, like it's kind of like hippie-ish too. Like, there's a lot of like art, there's a lot of like wind catcher type art. There's also
wind chimes,
yeah, there's chimes all aplenty. There's so you go there and there's all these hammocks too that you can sit in and relax in until your sound bath. And there's a little structure, and then they recently put in a gift shop, which I was happy for, even though I was like, I get it, you're very popular now, Integratron.
Yeah.
But it's a really fun thing. But I'm going to tell you more about it. But I just want to check in too, about our life. Do you have any news? Do we have any things to
any
discuss?
Hot news? I mean, we have some stuff
okay
coming up,
yeah.
but like, we have stuff coming up, but we're just in the talking about it phase, but it'll be coming up very, very soon. We're very excited about what we're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. A little, I mean, it's similar to what we're doing, but a little bit of a little slight fork in the road where we
something.
go, and then we come right back.
Yeah, how about that? You like when we explore, right? You like when we stretch the boundaries of this medium, right?
I mean, they could, and if you're like, oh, I listened to all, we know we hit, we're over now, but 50 proper episodes we've passed. There's more because I wasn't counting the mini ones, but we're well past the 50 mark.
I like that,
and we're probably getting close to our 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, I think we are too.
Yeah.
Wow, we should do something for that. I don't know what, and I don't know when, and I don't know how.
Yeah, well, if you've listened to all of them, he's like, yeah, but I'm already caught up. You know where you can go.
Oh.
It's not in the desert. It's
in
on the internet superhighway where you can surf the web. Right over, catch a wave to patreon.com/ghosttownpod. Bonus episodes up the wazoo. Can I say that?
Oh my God, you can say that. Okay. You can say that if I can say bonies. Jason hates that.
Yeah, single-handedly bringing down the podcast.
Exactly.
There's 2 bonus episodes a month for the $2 level, and that helps us with submissions to festivals so we can perform live, and some other costs that we have.
Yeah, keeps up the podcast, production fees, which can mean anything.
Anything.
Pretty much. Like
cookies.
Yeah, mostly it's cookies. Jason's cookie corner.
Yeah, my cookie corner.
Every once in a while, it can mean some weird expenditure we have, like tiny easels that we don't really use anymore for our papers.
For our notes.
Yeah.
For our notes.
So, it's whatever.
Check it out.
It's keeping up our AOL email accounts. That's really expensive. Our Google Glasses.
Yeah, Google Glasses, Google Wave.
Exactly. Our Maseratis. Yep. It's really important.
Yeah.
So please donate.
And then if you ever want to say what up, I guess you can go to our Instagram, which is Ghost Town Pod.
Yeah, please do. Especially, I know a lot of you have probably been to this place because it's fairly popular. But the history is not to be missed. We are also going to go to LA Breakfast Club, I believe, at some point. I don't know if I'm teasing the wrong point. But we want to showcase some other things, some things that you could attend to. I think that's also a really important part of the podcast.
The exploration part is always kind of key with
us. It's cool if we're talking about a place somewhere in remote, Scandinavian coastline, but it's also really cool when it's something that you can get to like pretty easily and experience it for yourself.
Have some firsthand experience.
Yeah.
We like that.
We love that. And I've been to the Integratron, I would say maybe 12 times.
What?
You should see Jason's face.
I haven't been to anything 12 times.
I've taken my parents there.
Just to get a sound bath?
Yeah, we went there. We went to Pioneer Town, which is another favorite of mine, which I'll talk about too at some point. I think I'm going to have a big birthday this year in Pioneer Town.
Who is?
I think so. Because I haven't had a birthday thing in a while. So I think that might be the case. You're all invited.
Yeah.
Oof, I'm going to regret saying that.
Yeah.
Yes, I will. My parents were there. My parents, again, very like normcore Wisconsin Jews, went to get a sound bath, the Integratron. They loved it. It's just one of those fun, not such a secret anymore. and let's talk about it. So the Integratron is listed on the National Register of Historic Places by the National Park Service. So part of the Park Service, not part of historically tied to any city. And it's, according to the Integratron's website, a resonant tabernacle and energy machine sited on a powerful geomagnetic vortex in the magical Mojave Desert.
The good old Mojave.
Right? I had to think about that.
Yeah.
So they really keep it chill and keep it pretty low key. But I love that the website too is so, it's like alien fonts in the desert, like
hieroglyphics.
Yeah, they are very into it, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Love it.
So its creator, George Van Tassel, he was born in 1910. He claimed that the structure is based on the design of Moses' tabernacle, the writings of Nikola Tesla, and telepathic directions from extraterrestrials. Despite all of that, George Van Tassel was an aeronautical engineer who worked for Lockheed, Douglas Aircraft, and who was a test pilot for Howard Hughes at Hughes Aviation. He was also really into UFOs and was, I would say, one of the leaders of the UFO movement in the 40s and 50s. He held these annual spacecraft conventions at this place called Giant Rock, where he lived for 25 years. So this guy, again, it's like, okay, just an engineer, no big deal, who loved aliens. And I also want to talk a little bit about what the Integratron looks like before we get into this too. It is a dome in the desert. It doesn't have any nails in it. It is held together with glue and some other types of adhesives. It is, I would say it would fit about 30. There's 2 floors. The top floor is much smaller because it's a dome. The bottom floor has a bunch of UFO shit all over and some stuff about Van Tassel. And it's got a couple like stuffed chairs, got some macrame, of course, dream catchers, of course. And then you go up this, you have to take off your shoes and leave your cell phones downstairs. You go up this little ladder to the top area. And I would say comfortably, maybe 30 people can be up there. And there's these little mats and you lie down on the mat. You can have a blanket if you want. You don't need a blanket though. And then there's these quartz bowls in there. There's about 10 of them. So and there's these little like porthole windows too. So you got this natural light. You can hear weird shit because the sound bounces from one side to the other. It moves through the dome, but it's like you are on a spaceship. Like it's a tiny spaceship.
So you're laying on a mat.
Yeah.
For those of us who haven't been there 12 times, you're laying on a mat.
yeah.
Right. And what do the bowls do?
The bowls are made of quartz and they all have a different frequency and note. So then this guy comes in and it's either one of the sisters, the 3 sisters that now owned it, or it's this guy who is the husband of one of the sisters. He comes up, he starts nonchalantly talking about different planets and how we're going to reach them today via the frequencies of these bowls. And you're like, yeah, baby, I'm ready. And then he starts playing the bowls.
Okay.
And they sound like, they're like, so it's reverberating in your brain. It like takes over the space. It's really crazy and meditative and kind of intense. So you're laying there and just kind of listening to things, and it's supposed to go through your body and make you feel lots of different things. People cry, but mostly people fall asleep because it's very relaxing. And you can hear the people who fall asleep because you can hear the sound so easily from like the other specific side of the room. And then after a half hour, 40 minutes, they put on some weird new age music and you wake up and go back to your life.
And you
feel rejuvenated. You feel good. You feel energized. Aliens can now speak to you clearly
I'm
from
sure
inside your head.
For, people that, if you've never experienced it, experiencing like a new experience and sound has got to change you in some way.
Yeah. My parents were just like chilled out after it, and that's worst case scenario. Although I will read you some Yelp not so positive reviews later. But it's really fun and very special. And I've been to sound baths because of course I have in LA, and this is so special.
Oh, that's what I was wondering if they had other ones.
Yeah, they do. They have a couple. A lot of times like a yoga studio will do specific sound baths, or like the Ace Hotel, of course, will do some. But generally, this is the place. Like this is the place that is the sound bath mecca because of this strange history. But let's talk a little bit more about Van Tassel and Giant Rock. So Giant Rock is actually a couple miles away from the Integratron. And it is where the Integratron was conceived of with the whole alien contact, etc. So it's a large freestanding boulder in the Mojave directly adjacent to Landers. It is 5,800 square feet of ground, 7 stories high. It's a giant rock. Like, it looks like a giant fucking rock. It was supposed to be it was the largest freestanding boulder in the world until a big piece broke off of it in 2000. Native Americans of Joshua Tree are considered sacred, sacred space, sacred grounds. In the 1930s, Frank Kritzer moved to Giant Rock because he was inspired by, apparently there's a lot of desert tortoises that dig holes in there to cool themselves. And he was like, oh, this is my home now. So he dug out a home on the north side of the rock with the assistance of dynamite, of course. They respect the land. White men respect the land. If there's anything you learn from this, learn that. So he engineered a rainwater collection system and a tunnel for ventilation. The underground home was reportedly never hotter than 80 degrees and never cooler than 55 degrees. Kritzer transformed the nearby ancient lake bed into an airplane runway. By 1941, the airport averaged a plane a day, which is not bad for the middle of fucking nowhere. Sadly, Kritzer perished in a self-detonated dynamite explosion in his room on July 24th, 1942, while being investigated by local police. At that time, Van Tassel, who was a friend of Kritzer's, of course, leased the property from the Bureau of Land Management, who had seized it, and left LA and moved to Giant Rock with his wife and probably 3 thrilled children. George Van Tassel began conducting weekly meditation sessions in 1953 in the rooms underneath the Giant Rock, which he claimed led to UFO contact, and finally to an actual encounter with extraterrestrials when, according to George, in August of that year, a saucer landed from the planet Venus. You'll hear a lot about this if you go there because they talk about the Venusians, woke Van Tassel up and invited him onto the ship. These aliens gave him a formula for a proprietary frequency for rejuvenating living cell tissues. In 1957, he began building a structure he called the Integratron because the aliens wanted that. Again, I don't know where that word specifically came from, aside from alien direction. So he was supposed to create the Integratron to perform this sacred, crazy rejuvenation ceremony. Van Tassel described his creation this way. The Integratron is a machine, a high-voltage electrostatic generator that would supply a broad range of frequencies to recharge the cell structure. That sounds kind of scientific and legitimate when you say it like that.
Yeah, sign me up.
Not when you say Venusians came to me, took me up to their planet to make this thing where I can put sound frequencies through their bodies so we can all reach a state of nirvana, which I think they use nirvana quite a bit in the sound baths, as you'd imagine, too. Shortly after... so when the rock broke too, it was kind of strange. It fractured in two. No one really knows why or how that happened. And the whole inside was this beautiful white granite, which you'll see if we'll put a picture up of the rock. It's just looks like a rock, but inside, beautiful, pristine. Maybe aliens are involved. Okay, but back to Van Tassel. So he was creating this structure from UFO contact, channelings, and ideas from scientists such as Nikola Tesla, and that was what created that unique architecture for the Integratron. He spent 18 years constructing the building. His annual spacecraft conventions were attended by tens of thousands across 2 decades, featuring speakers that included high-profile UFO contactees and pioneers in the fields of anti-gravity and primary energy research. Van Tassel led weekly meditations in the rooms under the rock from the 1950s to the 1970s, which he claimed led to more UFO contacts. The family hosted UFO conventions at Giant Rock for almost 20 years to raise money for the Integratron project. So let's take a little break, and then we'll get back to the fate of the Integratron. Okay. And we're back, baby.
We're back. We're in it.
We're back.
This podcast would be the opposite of a sound bath, right?
Yeah.
The frequencies you're getting from our voices,
we're trashing your body.
Yeah, it's
like
making
we're
it worse.
putting trash into your body. Yeah. We're not cleansing anything. No more garbage up here in your heart, and all over the place. Okay. So back. It's 1959. You're in the middle of the desert. You're trying to create a structure that aliens told you to create, plus your science background. 11,000 people approximately are attending your spacecraft conventions, which help you create this thing. So Van Tassel continued to work on this. He was not an engineer anymore. He just became incredibly obsessed with the Integratron, creating it, having all of his UFO meditations and meetings, all of that revenue went to it. He also wrote some books during this time to create more revenue, but it was all from alien stuff, which kind of is my dream. You know, the idea of just like writing books about aliens as you construct your alien structure and do big alien conventions at your giant rock that you live under. Not so bad. Not such a bad life. We've talked about a lot of bad lives on this podcast. This one, I would say not as bad. But unfortunately, Van Tassel died suddenly in 1978, after which the buildings at Giant Rock were vacated and gradually vandalized until the Bureau of Land Management found it necessary to bulldoze the remains. So there's parts of the rock that still are there. The whole structure is not there, but there's some interesting photos of it at that time too. We don't really also know how he died or where his body is. Just kidding. No, the body is buried. Well, wouldn't that be great if the aliens took him back up?
Hey, maybe you don't know.
Yeah. So after Van Tassel died, people were like, okay. And so there was some people like, well, what should we do with this weird half-made building? A lot of people wanted to turn it into a disco, but that plan was never realized because 1978, we're getting to the 80s. We don't need another disco in the desert. You know, enough. We're at capacity. The Integratron was bought by three sisters who were kind of peripherally part of the restoration. They were from the area. And they maintained the structure from then on for 30 years. So thank goodness that they got this, because they really are in the spirit of Van Tassel's studies and what he wanted for it. So
carrying on that.
Right? Like, very convenient. Their focus is to restore and preserve the structure while sharing its amazing acoustical properties with the world via the sound bath. So they also, if you go to the sound bath, you will hear a lot about Venus and aliens, but it's not as heavy-handed as it might have been if Van Tassel were doing it. They also talk about science vaguely and relaxation and please be respectful of your neighbors, etc. So the Integratron is open to the public. It's about $35 for a sound bath. And the restoration is a continuing effort. When you go there, you wouldn't think that, but there's a lot of it that is from the original structure that they're trying to elevate. It's made of wood, which even in the desert degrades quite a bit.
Is it like futuristic looking?
Yeah, it's like futuristic, like hipster futuristic. Okay. Like if you went into a store in Echo Park and it's like all white, and then there's like a couple pieces of burning sage and tiny clay pots. You know, you're like, oh, this is like modern, but not at all. Does that make any sense?
Yeah,
kind of. So. Okay. So it's a tourist attraction. There's sound baths where people are exposed to harmonic frequencies produced by quartz bowls. It has a deep calming effect, and it is supposed to be, according to many people, acoustically perfect because there's no nails in there. So a lot of musicians will go there to practice. A lot of, I think John Mayer, which we talked about last podcast. Yeah. I feel like it was John Mayer. Who's the guy who wears a fedora? Not John.
John Legend?
No.
Not
even John.
La La Land.
What's his? God, he's like this like soft core. I feel like we know people who are like friends with him, who do stuff.
Softcore? Like,
oh no, he had like one hit in like 2004.
I want to know who this is now.
Oh my God, people, help me out if you could respond to this.
He had a fedora.
Yeah, he had a fedora. We're gonna look this up afterwards and figure it out.
I want to know.
I know. I forget who filmed a video in the Integratron.
Okay.
It was either John Legend, John Mayer, or this guy that I can't think of. So very informational. Thank you. So let's see. The location of the Integratron is also a part of its essential functioning. It was built on an intersection.
Jason Mraz.
Yes, that's it. How did you know?
Because what I did was I just kind of I was thinking about John Mayer. I was thinking about the year. I'm kind of thinking about their look.
Yes.
And I was thinking about the names, and I was like, who else would
nailed
be
it?
That?
Yeah, like a softer, lamer version of those people.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to be.
He's got a song I like, I think.
Oh.
When it comes on the radio, Michelle gets very mad because she hates it. But he's from San Diego.
Oh.
Which I used to live in San Diego.
Yeah, I used to live there.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, hey. But do you know what I'm talking about? Some comedians who do stuff with him? They're like sketch comedians.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh. Anyway, he or John Mayer did video there. I should have written that down. So, but anyway, the Integratron it is built on the intersection of powerful geomagnetic forces that, when focused by the unique geometry of the building, concentrate and amplify the Earth's magnetic field. I don't know what that means. That is from the website. Magnetometers read a significant spike in the Earth's magnetic field in the center of the Integratron, which is totally real and also a little creepy. But hey, don't fall asleep in them because it's very bothersome to the rest of the sound bath people. The Integratron's landmark nomination was approved in April of 2018 and is now listed in the National Register of Historic Places. It is a testament to George Van Tassel's role in UFOlogy, the culture of the desert, music, sound, architecture. It's a very unique place, and so unique that I was looking for other things to talk about, and I went onto Yelp, and I think this is a very good way to showcase some of the people's experiences. So also, oddly enough, it's booked out till the end of August, right? It has only 173 reviews. It's 4.5 stars.
Interesting.
Weird, right?
Maybe people, I don't know, I feel like people don't want to share. Because maybe it's very special to them, and I think by sharing it on Yelp, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Exploits that.
So. Exactly. So Krista S. gave it 5 stars. This place. Holy moly. First off, do not believe any of the bad reviews. It is probably because they did not listen or abide by the rules. Rules are in place for a reason, and if you cannot follow them, then you deserve to be treated accordingly. I love this place. I live in Houston, and I'm already looking to go back, and I was just there last week. You have to be on the ball and book this place ahead of time, so stop yelping and go book. It is literally the most relaxing place I have ever been to in my life. Go about 45 minutes early, check in, go to the bathroom, and sit in the hammock village, but do not talk on your cell phone or talk to your friends. If you are here, it is to relax and not social hour. I wish there was an option to just lay there all day. It is definitely a must-do.
She sounds like she can use it, too. So.
Yeah. She likes to play by the rules, but she will let loose. Okay. Then we have Kelsey C. Also give it 5 stars. Sound bath? Hippies banging bowls? Great. I can honestly say I was a hater. I'm not really big at anything spiritual, and I believe in science, not chakras. But the Integratron makes things seem not so black and white. The sound bath is actually a great experience. The gentleman playing the bowls is a regular guy who is passionate about what he does and truly believes in the power of this acoustically perfect building. And why wouldn't he? A lot of crazy things run through this area, and it didn't budge an inch during a devastating earthquake. Was she in an earthquake during this? I don't know. Once you get over how loud the sound bath is, it becomes a sensory deprivation type of experience, and I feel like it hits a frequency or touches a part of the brain that makes things go quiet. I left obviously more relaxed, and no, not because I took a nap. I know what it sounds like, but I do recommend checking out the Integratron and approaching things with an open mind. I enjoyed it so much, I even bought a magnet.
Hold on a second. So she went pedal to the metal.
Yeah.
She's like, how much do I like it? They're like,
Yeah.
prove it. Like, how about I buy a $6 magnet?
Yeah.
And they're like, you wouldn't.
Are you convinced
I
yet?
would. Yeah. I like how buying a magnet's like, I'm their biggest fan.
Yeah.
I bought a magnet.
How about that?
And I have all their demos.
I am now the authority. Exactly. Okay. Let's switch gears, though, because here's Simon A.
Oh, boy.
He's
not going to. I get Simon.
He gave the Integratron a 1 star.
Oh, come on.
Damning 1 star.
It should get a star for just being called Integratron.
No, I know. That's not what he thinks. It didn't work. I tried to connect with the sound waves and the alien planet in this doomed wonderland, but ... Awesome experience. The chilled arrival, hanging out in a hammock, climbing up a ladder to an amazing dome. That's where it stopped. The acoustics are mind-blowing, as is the narrative before you launch. Then the bowl player asked me to turn it on my side, and I was breathing like I was snoring. It was a wrap. The guy in from me was going through sway yoga moves, so I followed. Had an amazing acoustic stretch and last bed the venue. Spock me back.
I don't. This person, I like how it doesn't work. Like I've used a couple of them; they work really well.
Yeah, exactly.
This one's just broken.
No, I didn't like it. It broke because I'm not on a different planet right now. Okay, last one. Shayna B, 5 stars.
Nice.
If you don't know, now you know.
that's good enough for me. I don't need to hear anymore.
Right? That's
Is
it.
there more of it? Don't need
No,
it.
that's it. That's all she wanted. She was like, out. It was in all caps. but
Oh.
No, it wasn't. I like Yelp reviews in all
If she
caps.
didn't buy a magnet though, then
I know. It's a good point. It's a good point. So there's a little Whitman sampler of people who've experienced the Integratron. Do you want to go, Jason? How are you feeling?
I mean, like, have you gone to ones in LA?
Yeah,
How do they compare?
they don't.
Is
This
now
is
do
like,
they not
this is
compare?
like a fucking like
It's a whole thing,
the
right?
whole thing.
Yeah.
Like sound baths here that I've been to have like 4 quartz bowls, and they're in a yoga studio. There, you're like, I guess I'm fucking lifting off. Here we are. Like,
Right.
holy shit. Yeah.
Is there?
It's worth it.
Would you say is any benefits to going to a sound bath? I mean, I guess for the sheer relaxation. Part.
Yeah, relaxation. It's a different experience. I think it's very calming. I think when people thinking about like meditation, you're like, oh, like I just sit there, or whatever. This is a different kind of meditation where it's almost like a weird orchestra that you're listening to that's calming you. So I think anything where people are getting away from like the confining nature of it's like new agey self-care or like weird stigmas about like mental health and things like that. I think these are good things to explore.
What if I'm on the go and I just want to listen to one?
You want to go
on
Gert?
my iPhone with my
Yeah.
earphones in at a farmer's market
I think that's doable.
because I'm on the go.
Ideal? No.
Yeah.
But yeah, a little like mini Integratron bite.
Yeah.
Little fix.
Yeah.
Okay. Buy it at the gift shop though.
Yeah. I gotta have the magnet. Gotta have that magnet. She's like, oh, are you doubting me? Watch this. I got the least expensive thing there. What's cheaper than that?
Nothing.
A bottled water, maybe. Some
Yeah.
ionized
Yeah.
Integratron water.
There's like Palo Santo that might be cheaper.
Yeah, but
Let's
so
get
I bought
tiny
a
moon
magnet.
rock.
And
Yeah.
you know, every time they're in her kitchen, she's like, "Oh, this, It's
This?
like, didn't ask."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, I'm going to tell you anyway because I got the magnet. I invested in the magnet." And I guess is the magnet any? Because it's like magnetic. Is there anything extra?
No,
to that,
I
or
think it's a little like wink and a nod to it. It's probably just a regular magnet, I assume.
something made in China or something.
I
Like
don't
that.
know. I don't know. Watch your brains though.
Did you get him? You went there 12 times. Where's your magnet,
No, I didn't get one.
poser?